Hi guys! Welcome back to our channel Talk and Tell. Ang ating pag-usapan ngayon ay tungkol sa Filipino na nandito sa US. So this is about Filipino people that lives here in the US. So mostly this vlog is for Filipinos who lives in the Philippines that want to know what's going on here in the US, the Filipino who lives in the US, a US citizen or immigrant or whatever, something like that. But let's talk about it. Okay. First of all, the Filipino here in the US, it's plenty. So many Filipino here in the US citizen. There are a lot of Filipino here in the US. Wherever you go in the United States of America, there are Filipino. We have 51 states in the USA. Every state on that 51 state, there are Filipino. There are Filipino community. The biggest one that I know, I haven't researched this, how many Filipino in California, but I know there is so many Filipino in California. That's the biggest one. Like almost of them, you feel like you are in the Philippines, because once you go somewhere in the Chinatown, you can meet a lot of Filipino there. So yes, there is a lot of Filipino in California, and California is a really big state. So Chicago, there is a lot of Filipino also in Chicago. Florida is a lot of Filipino. The weather in Florida just like in the Philippines, and so are California, San Diego, California, San Jose, LA. They are like most the weather there like in the Philippines. So Las Vegas, they do have a lot of Filipino also there. Wisconsin, that's really cold in that area. It's always snowing, but there are a lot of Filipino there. Indiana, there is a lot of Filipino in Indiana. In Alaska, you never think that there is no Filipino in Alaska because it's very cold there and there's always snow. And then when they are snowing, it's really high. Just like really high. The snow in Alaska, it's huge. It's a lot. How many inches? Maybe 14 all the time. 14 inches all the time and up. So, and then it's really cold. So you never think that there is no Filipino there who likes to live. But you're wrong. Because in Alaska, there are a lot of Filipino. There are a few Filipino that who owns a business, a restaurant business. I know myself because they're my friend. The Arlene, she has a few restaurant in the Alaska. And also the other guys, because I went there for vacation. I went there like 3 times on already in every year. So there's a lot of Filipino also there doing a business, and some are working. But yeah, there is a lot of Filipino there. And most of the time, the Filipino there in Alaska, seasonal worker in Alaska. But there is also a lot of people there, Filipino people there that who really lives in Alaska and have a business. So I know three of them because I close to them. But yes, there is a lot of Filipino in Alaska. Now, state of Washington, there are a lot of Filipino also there. And their weather there is like they always raining, but they don't get a lot of snow. It's different area get snow, but mostly they don't really get snow, but they're colder. But it's very nice. So yeah, like I said, we have 51 states in the USA, and all of those states there are Filipinos. So if you are Filipino right now in the Philippines, if you want to vacation here, and then you want to see a Filipino people right on the spot, go to San Diego, go to California like San Diego or LA. There's a lot of Filipino there, so you go vacation there. And also you go vacation like Florida, because there's a lot of Filipino. You just walking in the store, then you meet Filipino right away, so you will not get bored. And then vacationing only like tourists, so at least you can meet Filipinos, and you can of course communicate them in our language. Yeah, in our language, Tagalog or Bisaya. So yes, that means you will be comfortable right away. You're not feeling scared like, hey, this is the first time I come here and I'm scared, I don't know what to do, no, something like that, you know, first timer. But yeah, if you want to plan go vacation, just choose the state like Florida or California. You will see a lot of people there. And now, yes, most Filipino who resides here in the US, there are a lot of Filipino already have a business. They do have a business, like mostly restaurant and a Pinoy store, like sari-sari store in the Philippines, sari-sari store. But here we do have a sari-sari store, but it's so big, so we go there, go grocery, like in the Seafood City, that's all the Filipino food in there. And we do have also a small store in here, Filipino, just like convenient one, but there's a lot of Filipino. The owner in there is a Filipino also. So they do have a restaurant, they do have a stores. So yeah, there is a lot of Filipino people who are resides here, that who do have a business. They do have a business. Yes. And of course, there is a lot also Filipino here nurses. Yes, nurses. Most that I know, there is so many nurses here in the US, Filipino nurses. Some of them are already lives here because they got married, but most of them are contractual. Like they are, like I call them OFW, because they work here and then they go home after their contract, and then they renew things like that. So there is a lot of nurses here, and also physical therapists. So there is a lot of physical therapists Filipino here also. Yeah, so we don't really speak English. When we get together, when we go to the party, a Filipino party, and then we get together there, you can speak English only if you have your husband together with you, so he can understand. But otherwise, we speak our language, Tagalog. If I meet somebody, if we hang around in here, there's so many people here Filipino, we go to the party, then there is a Tagalog, then yeah, we speak Tagalog. But then there is a Bisaya also, so yeah, we speak Bisaya. So that's why I kind of bulol sometimes, because I speak Tagalog not so much, and I speak Bisaya, which is a lot, because I am Bisaya. So that's the reason why I speak English in here, so American people also can understand this channel. But bear with me, because my English is not so fluent. The reason why, because I speak English, I speak Tagalog every day, and Bisaya every day, because I'm surrounded with a Filipino Bisaya. So that's why I've been here in the US for longest time, but I am not fluent still in English, because I spoke Bisaya here because of my friends are Bisaya. Why we are here all the time together every weekend. Sometimes after work we get together and someone is cooking. Hey, come on in here, I'm cooking mongo. So yeah, and then after I go there, we speak Bisaya. If it's Bisaya, then we speak Bisaya. If it's Tagalog, we speak Tagalog. That's why I've been here for the longest time. I am not fluent in English, so bear with me. but I'm still doing English speaking here. It's Taglish, so American people also can understand what I'm talking about, because what I'm saying here is I want American people also to know what is the Philippines, in the Philippines also, background and values and stuff like that. And also if the Filipino peoples also who are in the Philippines, I want to tell them also, letting them know this is what's going on in the Filipino here in the US. So yes, vice versa, I can talk Bisaya and Tagalog and English, but most of the time I speak English here, so at least it's generally can understand, because most of the Filipino eventually they really speak English. They are very educated. Remember, our second language is English. So yeah, you guys, even though it's not like so fluent, but still English. All right. So now, all the people here in America, Filipino people, we work a lot. We work. We work. Even though your husband is working, you still gonna work. Why? Because you want to send money to your family in the Philippines. Because if your husband is working, and then you use his money to send in the Philippines for your family, in the long run, he will get tired of it. Because to tell you the truth, most American, they're not like that. They're not like that. So, but some of them are so understanding. They said, okay, send your money, but not all the time. Yes, so that's why the wife here, the Filipina wife here, they always find a job so they have an income and they can send that to their family in the Philippines, so at least there's no argument, right? Real talk. Now, there's a lot also of Filipino that cannot work, or they don't want to work because they already have a children. They already have one kid, two kids. They rather stay home and take care of their kids than working. Why? Because the babysitter guys here is very expensive. It is expensive. So otherwise, you just stay home and take care of your kids. So take care of your husband. That's the reason why that most women who married the American man and then they end up staying home taking care of their kids, they cannot really send money to their family in the Philippines because she does not have any income. She can help a few times but not just all the time. Cannot send a balikbayan box all the time. No, cannot, because she is taking care of her kids and she does not have any income. Now, if your husband is kinda earn a lot of money and then you stay home, you don't work, the Filipina does not work, and her husband gave her allowance, they usually just give them money like allowance, or here's you can have this, you can have that, you get this credit card and everything, you buy whatever you want. So this Filipina can send money to the Philippines because her husband makes a lot of money. So it doesn't matter for her husband because he makes a lot of money and his wife is not working, taking care of the kids. So yes, she can send to the Philippines, but then the husband not really get mad because yeah, he has a lot of income, but it's not all the time. You can just count it in my 5 fingers that the husband has a lot of money and they don't care if you send money in your family back in the Philippines. It's counted only, it's not a lot. Yes, it is counted. So that's why real talk, reality, most Filipina wife, they really do want to work so they have money to help out their family in the Philippines. Now, there are a lot of Filipina that haven't really vacation in the Philippines. The reason why they don't have that much money to spend in the Philippines. They have money, buy a ticket, their pocket money that want to spend there. But the thing of it is, once you are in the Philippines, you need a lot of money because you are gonna be spending a lot for your family and your neighbor and your friends, everything like that. You will end up spending a lot of money there, unless you're just so tight. You're just gonna go home there, buy a ticket, and then spend your family there, and you don't need to spend anything unless you have that. But there are a lot of Filipina or Filipina na they don't want to go home because they don't have a big money to stay there and spend a lot of money for their family. They end up, but if they just want to go home and see their family, they can. They can afford to buy a ticket. They can. It's not expensive. They can afford to have pocket money staying there for like 1 month. They can for just themselves. So what about you? You are so kind, so nice. My friends, my cat, my black cat. So what about you have a lot of family, you have a lot of friends, you are so nice, you are so nice, you are so kind, you want to treat them while you are there, so you will end up spending a lot of money. Okay, and that is the truth. So rather the Filipino just, okay, I'm not gonna go home because I have a money, but it's not enough to spend for them, not for you, for them, right? So there. And then, so when it comes to education, yes, there is a lot of Filipina also going back to school here in the US. The good thing is, if you already have a credential in the Philippines credential, it will accepted. Most of the time it's accepted because you have to have at least 10 years, below 10 years that your graduation there, and you can bring all your credential. If it's 10 years old and up, then they cannot carry your credentials. So yeah, you can continue schooling here if you haven't graduated in the Philippines. So that's the good thing also, because you really can continue going to school here. But very, very expensive. But the thing of it is, you still can go to school if you want to, because there is a student loan. Yes, there is a student loan here in the US. That's why it's really good here. You got a chance to go to school. If you don't, you're just lazy. Because there is student loan. Student loan here, guys, is available wherever you go. So yes, you can go to schools. Good student loan. In the Philippines, there is no student loan. Is there a student loan? I don't think so. I don't know. So yeah, there is a lot of student loan here, so you can get away. Like me, for example, I was graduated there in the Philippines already, but when I come here, at the moment I come here after 10 years. After 10 years, I waited at my kids growing up, and then I go back to school. I did go to school, so I did finish second year in college. You know, the associate degree. At least it's still USA, right? So I did have a associate degree here. So US associate degree in the US. So yeah, and I do have a student loan, but then it was long time ago already, so I did paid off already my student loan. You have to pay it off also after you graduated. You will, and then you work, then it's time for you to pay back your student loan. So there is a lot of people also that they don't like student loan because they are so discouraged that after they get graduate and then they will pay. Yes, you pay, but at least you graduated already, you work. So that's the good thing here in the US. Now there is a lot of Filipino here that they don't want to be friends of Filipino also because there's a lot of marites here. The Filipino here, do you really think that they really get along good? No, some of them, yes, but most of them, they don't because they are marites. There are a lot of marites. You just group here, then you're talking. After a while, when when you're gone, they're just gonna talk behind you. So there is a lot of marites also in here in the US. And also there is a lot also of mga mayayabang. Yes, real talk. There is a lot of mayayabang na Filipino also here. Talking about me, no, I'm not mayabang. I'm very simple. What you see, what you get talaga. Like that. That's just my house. So, yes, I'm not mayabang, but there is a lot of Filipino here that's mayabang also. But anyway, yes, this is the life in the USA. For example, you Filipina, mga tao sa Philippines karon, kung talagang mag-vacation kayo, choice nyo, kung wala kayong pamilya diri, gusto lang ninyong punta sa US, choose no yung yung California at saka Florida kasi ang daming Filipino. The moment you come down the airplane, the airport, then you go to the hotel where you are booking at. Then next thing in the morning, you go to the store, then you will see Filipino. Then you go to the street walking downtown. There's a lot of Filipino walking in downtown also. And if you are in Florida or in California, so California is a really big state also, but there's a lot of Filipino everywhere there. So yeah, you cannot feel like, I'm scared, I don't know what to do. So you cannot say that because you're not afraid anymore. There's a Filipino, you can talk your language and everything. So you're safe. But anyway, yes guys, this is the life here in the US. All the Filipino are working. They are worker. We are hard working because we're trying to live an American dream, but it is very hard to live an American dream, especially when everything is already high now in here, guys. It's really expensive. Everything is getting so expensive and expensive and expensive. So the moment you want to live in American dream, and then next thing you know, your car broke, you need to buy another one, and then this, and then you got a lot of bills. So they end up oh man, I cannot buy this high-end stuff, high-end this, high-end stuff, high-end house. So if you're married to a rich man that had a good job, lucky you talaga. But otherwise, I work every day. So I work every day because I am independent. I support myself from A to Z. So I am the boss of my own boss. So yeah, that is good. But all the Filipino here is really hardworking. It's really hardworking. Of course, we're a Filipino. We think about our family in the Philippines. So we are hardworking. You know why? Number one reason, it is a chance. That's the reason why we are here in the US. So we can at least change our lifestyle. Live like American dream. Live like a rich one, but we have to stay humble. I don't know why there's a lot of hambugira, inggitira na Filipino nga nandito na. I don't know why. As far as I'm concerned, that's why we are here, because we want to live in a good lifestyle. That's why we work. Okay, so anyway, that's it. That's it. That's it. There's a lot of Filipino here in the US. So don't worry about kayong nasa Pilipinas ngayon. If you want a vacation, don't worry, because wherever you go here in the US, there is a Filipino. But then some Filipino they don't want to talk to you, so you have to approach them, because there are still Filipino that they don't want to approach you, because every day they're just walking, banging back and forth right there and bump their elbow to elbow. They don't even say hi. But since you are brand new, you are just here, you just arrived, so you need to approach the Filipino. You need to say, hi, Filipina ka ba? Hi, Filipino ka ba? Ganyan, ganyan. So, approach them. Because some of them, they don't really say, hi. Sino ka ba kung mag-hi ka, di ba? Sino ka ba? Bakit nila ka i-hi? Ganun yun. Ganun dito, guys. Ganun. Kaya kayo mismo, kayo ang baguhan, kayo talaga ang mag-approach at mag-hi. Nandoon na yun, mag-start na ang conversation ninyo. So, tandaan nyo yan, kayo talaga mismo ang mag-approach. Huwag mong hintayin nga sila mag-approach sa inyo. Ikaw yung baguhan, so you have to approach first, and then the conversation started. Alright, bye-bye. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for my uploads. Bye-bye.